Hello all, in this session we are going to know what is Cypress. Cypress is the new automation tool that is available in the market now, and it can be used to automate both UI level and API level, that is the backend level in our application. So here in our 5 minutes session, we are going to understand what is the difference between Cypress and the other available tools in the market like Selenium. So what makes it unique from the other automation tools, and what are all the key features that the Cypress team is claiming to make it unique from the other automation tools. To understand that, we need to know how the automation framework of the other tools like Selenium work. So let's understand how the automation framework of Selenium or the other automation tools in the market is working right now. So what we will do, we will be writing the automation code in a particular IDE like Eclipse or Visual Studio. The code can be written in any languages like Java, Python, C, C++, anything that the automation tester is comfortable with. So this code which is written will be sent as a request. So where it will be sent? It will be sent to the driver. So what is this driver? For each browser, so we will have a particular driver. For example, for Chrome, we have the Google Chrome driver. For Firefox, we have the Gecko driver. For IE, we have the IE driver. And for Safari also, we have the corresponding Safari drivers. So this code that we write when it comes to Selenium is sent as a request to the drivers. So what will this driver do? This in turn converts the request, manipulates it, and interprets it into appropriate information and sends it to the browser. So this browser can be again Chrome, Firefox, IE, Safari, anything, and it is the application under test that we are going to test as a part of our automation testing. So this information which is sent by the driver is executed in the browser, and the browser sends back responses which are in turn sent back to our triggering system. So this is how the overall architecture of Selenium works. So here we can very well understand that driver plays a very important role, and it is also the key player of the automation framework. When it comes to Cypress, this entire concept of driver is getting eliminated. So what happens? This driver concept is eliminated when it comes to Cypress. So the code is directly going to communicate with the application under test. These testing tools like Selenium operate by running outside of the browser and executes remote commands across the network. Cypress is exactly opposite. It is going to be executed in the same run loop as our application. Let's see the basic diagram. So let's understand, or let's assume that this is our Cypress code. This Cypress code gets directly executed in your application under test. How it does is our next question, but since it is directly executing in the browser, all the pain points that the QA automation engineer has been facing till now when we are using some other tools like Selenium is eliminated. May it be synchronization issues or any other issues that we face like the browser crash or any other issues that we are facing when using the other automation tool is completely eliminated by this concept of architecture which is running behind the Cypress. So behind Cypress is the node server processes. We will understand what is this node server process in our upcoming sessions. Cypress and the node server process constantly communicate, synchronize, and perform tasks on behalf of each other. Due to this, Cypress is going to have an access of both front end and the back end of the application under test. This is the biggest advantage of an automation tool. Since it is having an access of front end and the back end, it gives us the ability to respond to the application's event in the real time, while at the same time work outside of the browsers for tasks that require a higher privilege. Cypress also operates at the network layer by reading and altering the web traffic in the fly. What is this? So for that, let's understand what is an API and what is a web service. Let us assume that there is a site under test like booking.com. Okay, so this allows you to log in using other applications like Facebook or Gmail, etc. So when it allows to log in using Facebook, what is it exactly doing? There are some web services that are exposed by the Facebook client, and this web service is consumed by the booking.com sites, right? Web service or the API or whatever you call the backend service is consumed by the booking.com, uses the username and credentials, and it logs into the application. Assume that this web service is down. What will happen to the Selenium test cases? It will obviously fail, right? But Cypress has an ability to sense this web service failure or the web service downtime, and it can mock the web service response and trigger it to our application under test. By this way, we have an entire control over our application processing interface, that is the APIs. This is not only for the external web services. This is very much useful when the developers have not developed some of your internal APIs and you have to skip them when you're writing your automation scripts. So these two are very basic examples of how important an API automation is. There are several other advantages when it comes to API automation. So Cypress combines the advantage of both UI and backend automation. In a nutshell, it is a next generation front-end testing tool built for the modern web application. They are addressing all the key pain points that the developers and the QA engineers have been facing when testing the modern applications using the other testing tools. So let's understand how to install Cypress, how to create a basic automation framework, and to create our first scripts using Cypress in our next tutorials. Thank you.